Hi, this is Tom Shanahan of SpiritualAdrenaline.com. I'm here today at the KTT Monastery in Woodstock, New York with Lama Tholstrom Yeshe. Lama, thank you for joining us. I recently came to be aware of your background and experience that led you to Buddhism. It was a traumatic childhood that you had to overcome. Could you tell us a little bit about your experience as a child, the strength that you got out of that situation, and your hope for the future for yourself and others?
Well, what happened was that my mother was mentally ill, and she would go into violent rages. Mm-hmm. And as I got older, then she also was very paranoid. I learned much, much later. She would have been in her early 80s when she told me that they had implanted a camera up her rectum and are watching her. Wow. This is the level of mental illness. Sure. You don't have to be a psychiatrist to diagnose that. But I did not know this. She didn't talk that way when I was growing up. Mm-hmm. But she would be very paranoid, very afraid. And she was very afraid that something bad was going to happen to me. And there was also, in her mind, no separation between me and her. Mm-hmm. And she became very controlling, feeling that the way to control her fear was to control me. Mm. And so it became very difficult when, as I got older, getting beaten all the time, I felt that I was a bad person. And by the time I was in the 9th grade, I tried to commit suicide. Wow. And then as I got older, then she tried to control who I hung around with, my friends especially. She was especially worried about me being with girls, and tried to control girls that I was with, and it became a real issue with us. Wow. By the time when I was 16, I wouldn't let her beat me anymore, and it wasn't that I threatened her, but I wouldn't let her beat me. And then she put me in a psychiatric ward. Wow,
that's a lot. That's a lot to overcome. That's a lot for anybody to overcome.
When I was 20, I came home from college on Christmas time, and I was back in my old room where all kinds of stuff had gone down. And I had a nightmare, and I was having nightmares from as early as I can remember. But this one was more violent than usual, more frightening. And the nightmare was that I was held prisoner, and at any moment they were going to take me out and execute me. Mm-hmm. And I had to get away. Right. So I got up. Physically, I actually get up, go over to my bedroom window, knock the glass out with my bare hands. I can show you the scar. And then dove through it head first and hit the ground running. Wow. It was that kind of how unsafe I felt at home. So fast forward now to when I was 40. And I guess for your program, this would be important. I spent a good part of 10 years smoking a lot of weed.
Thank you for being honest about that.
Yes, I smoked a lot of weed, drank a lot of alcohol. But then my best friend was killed in an accident, a freak accident, and it's what they call a trigger for people that have PTSD. Mm-hmm. And of course at this time I was clueless that I had PTSD or that this was a trigger. But what happened was I went into deep depression and then went to a psychiatrist, was put on a strong antidepressant. My marriage fell apart because of me. And then I went through a marriage counselor, and then I came across meditation and Buddhism, and I say I went from medication to meditation.